And so, life begins again, with a renewed sense of destination. Which reality will it be today? Whose reality? There is an instinct to climb, to reach some sort of pinnacle. But is it the destination, or the journey itself that draws us forward? Curiosity is strong, and destiny beckons. Onward it is. Memory is an oddly circuitous thing, often dancing in its own circles. A snake perpetually eating its own tail. We can sometimes swear we've seen something before, in another life. Echoes of another existence. So familiar, and yet we've never been here before, have we? But there is something almost tangible, something we've known before. Perhaps not in the exact same form, but enough. We shake the cobwebs clean and press forward, allowing ourselves to be surprised by whatever may lurk around the next bend. There will always be places we are not permitted to enter, doors that will not open for us, ladders we cannot climb. Sometimes we might even glance an opportunity, gaping wide for the merest of moments. And if we fail to seize that moment while it exists, it might be gone forever. Ships pass in the night. Two molecules temporarily find themselves inhabiting the same space. So many mountains to climb, yet so little time. Life is full of ups and downs. Bottomless pits of despair can soon lead to higher and more heavenly places. One can fall a great distance, only to rise much stronger. And as one ascends and struggles to shake themselves free from their own misty blackness, they also free themselves from the hordes of tiny insects that threaten to consume the brain from the inside. Sometimes the way forward is murky, and other times brightly lit, but mainly it lies somewhere in between. It does help, however, to have some kind of path to follow. Otherwise we can find ourselves rudderless and lost. Staying on the straight and narrow can be a challenge at times, but we generally know better than to stray too far to either side, lest we drown in our own indulgence. The relationship between man and nature is brotherly at best, a wicked stepmother at worst. Spat from the womb, we seek solace in new ones. Whichever life we might currently be living, we need somewhere to call home. A part of us envies the creatures of the wild, nestled so warmly inside the forest's belly. If only we could dream our days away and return to the safety we once enjoyed inside our mother's tender confines. so many doors shut right on our noses, so many shadowy faces whose acquaintances we shall never make. Like seed cast forth into a lover's body, the chances of a successful meeting are scant to say the least. How could the world, once so welcoming, suddenly be so ungracious? Perhaps we've done something to offend? We might never know. Lacking acceptance, we settle instead for bliss and push ever forward toward our destination. Sometimes one's destination becomes clear. Nature sometimes shows us the way. Hidden behind every rock is some secret, calling out to be uncovered. It is up to us whether we choose to lift those rocks and gaze upon whatever lies beneath. The bear pays little heed as we pass it by. It has no interest in our ways. Like a computer program, it does what it feels compelled to do, with little pause to ask questions of why. And yet, are we all that different from the bear? Are we not also compelled to follow our instincts? Perhaps this is why we choose to ascend. Another building. Perhaps there is a friend to be found inside? A companion, even, for the journey which remains ahead. Stranger things have happened. We make so many friends in the course of our many lives. Why not one more in this life? Another ghost, glimpsed from the corner of our eyes. So near, yet so far, and gone before contact can be made. Just another enigma to be puzzled upon another day. Perhaps there is nothing to be seen here after all. We fear nature in many ways, yet nature often fears us in return. It saddens us to see the deer bolt away. Surely it knows that we mean no harm. And yet, are we ourselves aware of what we are capable of, should circumstances arise? The death of another can sometimes mean life for us, and vice versa. Perhaps we would do well to follow in the skittish animal's footsteps and make haste ourselves. The rays of the sun give us life via the generosity of plants. The fresher the air that we breathe, the closer the animal within us feels to heaven. The light of day smiles down upon us with a glow all its own and pulls us closer to its bosom to suckle the warmth within. They say that up to 60% of the human body is composed of water. Perhaps this is what draws us so frequently in its direction. To immerse ourselves in it, become one with it, return to our natural selves. We cannot deny what we are, despite our efforts to the contrary. And there was light. Every tiny flickering flame feels like a beacon unto itself, tearing one's heart in so many directions at once. At least the warmth that they provide is comforting to a soul lost in its own frigid darkness. The oceanside can be an ideal place to ponder upon the many lives we could have lived. Perhaps this is what draws some people to dowse electronically for the lost possessions of others. The beach can hold many secrets, some beautiful, some tragic. The power of both is equal to those willing to dip their toes into the sands of the past, just to see what they can find. So many will-o'-the-wisps lighting up the darkness. The promise of an alternate path leads to a fresh glimmer of hope, but little else. Sometimes it is best to have a single unerring goal to which to stubbornly adhere. Too many diversions can lead one astray, one too many times. But then again, it never hurts to try. We all live and die in cages of our own design. Some of us possess the keys to our prisons and allow ourselves to roam from time to time. Yet we always come back, as there is comfort in confinement, serenity in security. They say the average adult body is filled with up to 1.5 gallons of blood. How many bodies would it take to make it rain? How much atrocity would it take to fill a swimming pool, an ocean? But enough of such morbid musings. Come rain or red, we must push forward and never forget our destination. There will always be those jealous of our ambitions. Rats running the same maze, seeking the same mouldy piece of cheese. Whether we win the race is up to us, though perhaps fate also plays a part. And there need not always be just one winner. But woe be to him who has the misfortune to discover what happens to those who lose. For much of our lives, we seek warmth. Yet sometimes the cold is better. Sometimes the dark is preferable to a ray of sunshine. Sometimes our tribulations give us renewed strength, allowing us to push towards our destination with greater vigour than before. We may choose to see the world in black and white, yet it is anything but. The tiny nuances that colour our existence are often invisible to the naked eye, but if one peers closer, the most alluring of cracks can appear, and through these cracks, the most unexpected of hues. We should never seek to tarnish our world with a single brush. The wild is unforgiving at this altitude. Having come this far, we have but one thing on our minds: to gaze upon the truth with the naked eye, be it bitter or beautiful. It is something that begs to be known. We will suffer its hardships if we must. In the face of the impossible, we must improvise. Even the most insurmountable of tasks might hide a solution, if we are only willing to look upon the world with different eyes. Do we rise to the challenge, or shuffle away with tails between our legs? Alas, the truth beckons, and it would be rude to disappoint it. Inevitably, our programming leads us to revelation, however sour. We don't always receive the answers that we expect. Could it be that our journey was for naught, bar the disclosure that our lives are but an artifice, our intelligence artificial at best? Surely existence could not be so cruel. Perhaps it is best that we close our eyes, embrace oblivion, and once again